All right, so today's the day we're going to be trying out the new Sagolas, and this is their newest gun from Sagola. This is the 4600. This one here is a totally new body on this gun. It's a lot lighter and it has a lot better of a feel in the hand, the way they shaped the back end of this here, which lets it sit nicely inside your hand and gives you a lot nicer of a feel. So right away when I put this gun in my hand, I liked the weight of it better, and I did like the way that my hand wrapped around it as well. So this is not just a redesigned body. They have new caps and they did some other different things to this gun to make it better than the last gun. So we're gonna be trying out both of the guns today with you guys. We're gonna use the base gun and then we're gonna use the clear gun on this one. So we do have a nice job in the booth to really test out these guns. We've got 636R from GM on a nice big 1500 truck, and we'll really be able to see how nice these guns work. So this is gonna be the first time I'm spraying them with you guys. You know we do like Sagola on the channel. We have some of the old Extreme 4600s, and those are very well made guns. They have some technology in here where they do not have any gaskets, O-rings, or anything like that with their guns. They have metal on metal, so you will not have to really rebuild these guns because there's nothing to really go bad. So let's get in the booth and I'll show you guys the job that we're gonna be doing today. All right, so you see we got a nice job to try this gun out with. We're gonna definitely put it to its test on this silver. So right away when I was looking at the gun, I could see two differences from the old air cap. And you can see if you look here closely at the air horns, they're more round and they look smaller, whereas the old one has more of a square look to it. So right away, that's the biggest thing I can see with this air cap, and I think that's what's gonna change the way that this thing sprays. So I'm sure that there's a little bit more to it than that, but that's the first thing I noticed right away with this gun, was that that has a different air horn on it. So let's go ahead, let's get this thing tacked off, and then we'll start shooting this thing. All right, so far the gun is spraying really nice. It's putting down a lot of material, and I'm spraying the gun full fan, full fluid. And one thing I can tell you right away that I've not used before from Sagola is their regulator. So I like the design of this big area here to grab, to tighten it on, because you guys know in the booth sometimes they'll loosen up on you and you're constantly trying to tighten them up, where this one lets you get a lot of torque on it without having to put a wrench on there. So far this is one of the nicest regulators I've seen in many, many years, and it's the first time I've used it from Sagola. So you guys see that we went up with one coat and then we went down with another coat. I like to get my silver on as much as I can without putting on a lot of coats, so I don't have as much dry spray. So we did wet bed the job with the original 4600 Extreme. I want to go ahead, let this set up. We'll go in and check it with the light to see if we have coverage, and then we'll go from there for our control coats. All right, so we're almost covered. I could see just a little bit, and just for precaution, I'm gonna go ahead and put one more coat on, a coverage coat, and then we'll get into our control coat. So that's not unheard of for these silvers. A lot of times they don't cover it well because they have a lot of the matting agent which does make that color more transparent because it actually lifts the metallic up. That is what the 491 is designed to do, is to let the metallic stand up and give it a more coarser look. So the more that it has in it, the more that you're gonna have to worry about checking for coverage, and that's with any gun that you have. So let's go ahead, we'll let it set, we'll put one more coat on, and then we'll hit it with our control coat. All right, so you see that we double checked for coverage. You guys wanna make sure that you turn off the lights, get in there with a light, and look at these silvers, because they're the ones that you're gonna pull out in the sun on that right angle, and you're gonna see right through them when that sun's beaming in on them. So I always like to double check with my silvers, as well as some of the colors that I know that aren't very well for coverage. So now that we've got all our paint on, we're gonna go ahead and back down our pressure. And we're gonna step back away from that panel, and we're gonna give it a nice uniform control coat, and we're gonna see what this Sagola has to say for itself. All right, so we've got our clear gun all set up now. This one takes the S32 PPS adapter as well as the base gun, and these are both 1.2 XLs, so they do put out material even though that they have a 1.2 needle in them. Sagola is known for being a very fast gun, so let's go ahead and try this one out. And this cap that I'm gonna be trying out first with this gun is the DVR Clear. This one here is supposed to match more of the OEM texture, where the other one is supposed to put it down a lot slicker. So to me, with these 1.2 XLs, they put them on quick, so I'm gonna recommend turning this in a little bit till you get familiar with it, and that's what I'm gonna do, is just turn in the fluid just a hair. That way I can get the hang of this thing, because they will put the material on quick, and you don't want any trouble. So let's go ahead, mix up our clear, and get this thing cleared up. All right, so we've got our clear on it now, and I'm gonna take you guys in there and show it to you and let you guys see how nice it came out. So the first two things I wanna let you guys know for sure is, with those new caps, is they do spray differently. I think the base is more uniform. I don't see as much of it dancing around as I'm applying it. It looks more consistent with that new DVR cap. As well as the clear, I think it puts down a thinner coat. It is still fast, so be careful out there. You guys know I usually spray slower guns, so I had to turn my fluid in to back off a little bit. That way I do not have a chance of running this, because when you're spraying every day like I am, in the same booth with the same clear with the same guns, you build a system and you put it on the same way every time. So when you're trying out a new gun, go slower with it. But let's go in there and check it out and see how it looks. All right, so what do you guys think? I think it looks phenomenal in there with the new 4600 gun without the Extreme on it. To me, these guns spray a lot nicer. The base coat is more consistent. I think it puts down a flatter coat of clear. Even though it's still as fast as the older gun, I think it's putting down a flatter coat of clear, and I think it's due to that new air cap that they have designed with a smaller side horn, as well as a different arch inside the actual groove where the air ports come out on that head. So definitely a great gun. And this one also has that dynamic flow technology, and that may be a part of why this gun is better. So if you're in the market to pick up any guns from Sagola, I would go with the newer version, because to me it's a lot nicer in the hand and it sprays a nice consistent paint job, as you guys seen in there. So I hope you guys like this video, and we'll see you guys on the next one.